So that was a Windows mess. Oh my god. That like was so trying. I was damn near ready to just give up. But I didn't. And here we are. So, cool thing is I got it ready to run the test again. I had to uninstall it, reinstall it after the other install of Windows. It was just a hot mess. Just a hot mess. It messed with everything known to man. It was just destruction on wheels. But hey, like I finally got it to work, so we have video feedback. It's streaming, allowing me to look at it at the same time. So if I wanted to game, I could and send it out to another computer. I'm pretty sure I would be able to, although I'm not sure if like the Elgato card would cooperate with it. At the same time, you might have to have the Vii media at the same time for it to actually focus and actually do some really cool damage. So I mean, straight off the bat, I'm not really seeing horribly too big of an improvement. And again, it seems like it was a lot more geared towards this patch of the optional was for the RX 5700. But hey, if we gain some benefits off of it, not why not? So we're back to the 2222 and the base mark of what we had before, like right around like 33 or something like that, which is right around the same thing we're doing with 4K. It's like pretty much chopping it down in half when we're running these bigger portions of like frame rates. Now, I've always been a little bit, I suppose, I guess disappointed when I looked at like generational points like this, but I guess this is where you get like dual cards and you get them water cooled and all this other stuff, and this is the things you can do with them potentially if the software writers and the game developers actually utilize these things. So here goes our second test. This is where we see a lot more of like the turning radius. It's not like I'm turning my head like this, my hair is moving. You know, like there's like, you know, things that can happen as frame rates happen and tears and all that other stuff. Yeah. So this one always struggles to keep above like 20 in general. It usually dwells in the teens. Yeah. The very rebel like frame rate. I'm sure you can probably get some very respectable like points if you're like Kingpin or JSU Sense, where you're utilizing like great founders cards that are like in tandem and stuff like that. But for me, I'm just utilizing the lone Radeon VII. Though I did see someone, some German guy, he put it in like it does have a crossfire I guess mode. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. You get a crossfire. And then what systems utilize that? It's just like the SLI, which is great. Or MV Link, as they more preferably call it nowadays in NVIDIA. But it's more of a dying situation because it's just like, besides, I guess, Rocksteady, which did the Batman series and a few other titles, they weren't really super popular. It's unfortunate, but it's kind of the way a cookie crumbles. And speaking of cookie crumbling, let's see what happens with our test. What happens? What does our FPS crumble down? This is just stock to stock, nothing changed. So that was actually a pretty decent improvement, honestly, because these are always harder ones to push. Now again, these are just graphics scores. Let me see if I can save mine. I think that's what I need to start doing. Let's see here. We'll go with what is today's date? 7, 10, and then yeah, 1971. So we know what update I pushed that in. Oh, I can start saving them too and uploading. I'm still learning exactly how to run and compare all these like online portions. Really cool. Anywho, as we got in a situation like that, I'm going to go ahead and see if we can't go to the overclockable portions. I'll look into that later on, because I do want to like see the comparison. I mean, obviously, I'm like 4 times lower than the majority of like the more topper contenders would be, but it'd be kind of cool one day. Try to battle up there. But speaking of ramping it up, let's go ahead and ramp up. Now, I noticed this last time when I had the 6-point situation varieties. When I would hit apply, it would work, but then it would shoot right back down to manual. It was really trippy. Like, I was experiencing it, like, let's see here. Oh, whoa. It's never asked me that. An auto clock has been successful. Okay. Gee glob. This is really exciting. It told me exactly straight off the bat. Let's go ahead and shut her down and see if we can run our benchmarks. I'm very curious though. Like, all things considered, in the general spectrum, it should improve a lot. Like, I think the situation seems like they're finally, with this architecture, moving a little bit more firmly forward with the Radeon card. Vega II is finally getting its time and day. But I am very curious in the general standpoint, past that, like, what they can do with the Wattman as improvements. Because this was a kind of a big surprise to me, the fact that it confirmed that it was able to successfully do that. So it, like, seems like it tested it and then found its limit and then capped it like just a little bit lower than that, which is nice. Because it doesn't seem like it's running as hella hardcore as it used to. It's loud. Okay, I stand corrected. It's louder than it normally is now. It's literally flickering the lights of the computer light that is plugged in. Very funny to look at. It's pure Radeon power, baby. But those FPSs are high. I'll give it that. They are staying close to the 40s. So let's see what happens when we get to our turning radius and we get everything tripping out as we get into these other tests. But it's running very performatively good. I am definitely digging this. It's way better than the first half of the stream. I feel like I lost my my vibe. I was like, all right, you get back into it, and this definitely helps, especially now since I'm noticing that we're fighting to stay in the 20s now and staying up above. This update could have did wonders now with the Wattman in order to make it function where it was just a software issue in performance before, rather than what it was before, with it just being the capable cards. Holy crap. It's like staying in like the 30s. I'm very interested to see what this test ends at. It almost looked as smooth as the first one. Well, I'll be damned. We gained probably about a solid 2 FPS, and we gained a solid 1 almost directly on the bottom. So very steady, very loud though. The situation where the Radeon comes into play. Now, these tests being ran on all crossboards, and then looking at stuff where I look into like my stuff with the GTX card, it's different in that, I guess, scenario. But let me go ahead, and those are my overclock situations. I was able to sell not too much higher than what I got in the other test. But let's go ahead and if anyone hasn't already gotten to the patch directly before, you can always go to the link down below. It should still be inside of there. I don't know if they'll directly let me patch it over now, but no, unfortunately not. No, but this is going to be me signing off. Boy MacGyver 7th, part 2 of the final test. I'll see you guys and gals tomorrow.